night. Where there is night. Where there is night is night. Where there is day is day. Afternoon. Depends on which country you're in. This is the Bakawal terrestrial sound. But as I said earlier on in the week, or the strong is the great Scaboops, Earth Strong. And we're having a live interview and reasoning about the great Prince Buster, with his two sons and his daughter. So I want each and everyone to tune in. I know I don't start share yet, but soon. I know them thing you kind of have some settings where sometimes we not over it or under it. So yeah, you know. Yes, coming on live. Man called Sultan Ali as the eldest son. A man like Paul Campbell. Yeah. A man like Michael. They behind the scenes. Know him come up front. Man get blunt. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Man gone already. Yeah. So they have a saying, say without further ado, it's neither ado nor rain. So man called Paul Campbell, the UA professor, so song embassy, master, teacher.
Thank you, Professor Jalai from Bakawal University. Music exalts the mind and stimulates the spirits. Greetings and welcome to our special edition of Bakawal Tribute to Cecil Eustace Campbell, internationally known as Prince Buster, originator of Jamaica's first national sound ska. Tonight we have with us the biological children of Prince Buster who are here to help us celebrate this special occasion with their memories of their father. Let's welcome first of all the heir to the empire of Prince Buster, his multi-talented son and the anchor of his musical legacy, Danny Buster.
Yeah.
Yalaman's greetings. Thank you for having me. Sultan Ali, son of Prince Buster, Danny Buster. Hashtag the Sultan of Ska. Thank you for having me.
To get this section rolling, Danny, I would appreciate it if you could use my favorite, one of my favorite songs from your father catalog, which is Enjoy Yourself.
Good to be wise when you're young, but you can only be young, but for once. Enjoy yourself and have lots of fun.
Yes, listeners, we all know so them things are still, you know. Them not complete, no, never.
Enjoy yourself while you're still in the game. As you wait, enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself. It's later than you think.
Yes, listeners, just stay with her and I, Yeah.
and understanding those trees were given free by the maker. Go to school, learn the rules, don't be no faker. It's not wise for you to be a footstool. So enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Enjoy yourself while you're still in the pink. For years go by as quickly as you wink. Enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself. It's later than you think.
Yes, thanks for that beautiful song, Danny. And tonight, I would love to use this opportunity to debunk some questions
Wow.
that have been lingering in my mind for many years. I must confess here that I am a student of the business of music, and there are so many lingering questions that are hanging out there that create in my mind based on my ongoing research. Some confusion when I try to put forward the facts based on the business of music to the students that I come in contact on a regular basis. I've tried to do this through the Vocational Training Development Institute in Papine and through some seminars and workshops that we have created. And we find that the students listening always have a preconceived notions of the questions because they were led a particular line. And I just want to clear up all of these, or a few of these questions with you because I know that you are deeply involved in the music from a child, growing up in the business and fully understanding both sides of it, the creative side as well as the business side. So I want to just get into it as quickly as possible because we have roughly 2 hours to complete our segment here. And I want it to be a very interesting and informative discussion. So the first one is, can you give us a sense of the geographic area your father, Prince Buster, referred to as Jamaica Beat Street? And can you tell us of the players that contributed to the space that is now known as Beat Street?
Very good question. Very Genesis question. Well, basically, let me start off by here. My father grew up at the corner of Charles Street and Luke Lane. Back in those days, he was a big fan of the great Tom, the great Sebastian sound system, where the hardware store at the corner of Luke Lane and Charles Street. That's where my father, hang out with his friends and gamble and and play dice and just shoot the breeze, so to speak. And Tom, the great Sebastian hardware store was at the corner of, like I said, Luke Lane and Charles Street corner. And Dennis Brown lived about at the top of North Street, at the rear of Luke Lane. Don Penn lived on the same street. Eka Mouse lived down Luke Lane as well as Carlton Coffee. So I basically would say that the Beat Street area, I should say the Beat Street district, started right there by Luke Lane and Charles Street, a Buster called Soulville Center, and stretched all the way to Orange Street, and Charles Street, and the new record store, 127 Orange Street. By the way, Buster had 4 record stores. The first one is a corner opposite Tom the Great Sebastian. Then he moved across to 36 Charles Street. Then after that, he bought the 3-story building where the mosque was and the store was on the bottom and the tenement on top of everything. That was 47 Charles Street. And then he moved to Orange Street. So I would say that the Beach Street district is basically from Luke Lane and Charles Street to Charles Street and Orange Street, right where there's 127 Orange Street, and the whole of there, from North Street all the way down to pass like to Bunny Lee, Caribbean Records, Tip Top, Miss Pottinger, Theophilus Beckford,
90.
Clancy Eccles, 9 of them, all used to have a shop right over there. So that I would consider that to be the Beach Street district, from Luke Lane, Charles Street now to Charles Street and Orange Street, from North Street all the way back down, from Beverly's Records and Tip Top and Rupee Edwards.
Okay. I see you've given me a clear description of the era, and I saw, or I listened that way. My professor, Jalive, agreed and even suggested other hearers
Yeah,
that
man.
you were talking about. So I realized, based on my experience with both of you and interaction, that you really understand the hearer. So
Well, I was born there. I was born in Western Kingston, Rose Lane. I'm a Western Kingston Heights. Went to school at the Miss Brown School.
And
the
the whole
last
Macawal surroundings, you know.
All right.
You used to go to
True.
the class scenes, right? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mm.
You have the only 2 instrument players me know. One there
Yeah.
Charles Street and West Street, that's right across from Public. And next one there between Matches Lane and Princess Street. On same place at Charles Street. You know?
okay.
I send out things so you have people I send forward. So
Mhm.
yeah, just go on. You're on both sides.
And one interaction to flow
Yeah,
between.
you know one day. Not regular, but you know.
Okay. All right, but the next question is that there's an argument within the Jamaican music industry suggesting that Jamaica does not have a music industry. In fact, they go as far to say, these gatekeepers and music advocates that I listen to them a lot because I like to go to their seminars and their workshop because I want to know what's happening out there. So I'm not shy to go there and to listen. And there is popular saying among them that Jamaica does not have a music industry. And they usually use the analogy of a motor vehicle and compare to parts of a motor vehicle put together and say that cannot complete a motor car because it's just parts. So they're trying to do the same with the music industry by saying because it's fragmented, that there's not a total music industry. What is your response to such argument as someone that is in the industry from an infancy age to where you are as an adult?
No, I couldn't, and I couldn't agree with that. That's far from the truth because, again, words and definition, they are definition and they are connotation. If you should consult the definition, the root meaning of the word industry, it is derived from the Latin word which is called industria, which means diligence and hard work.
Yeah.
That is the root meaning. And then they got all the business spinning off like the production, the promotion, the marketing, and all the stuff. So the root meaning of industry is diligence and hard work. So he trying to tell me Coxton, Jukid, and Buster didn't have diligence, didn't put in hard work, using their own money to finance their own projects, recording, mastering, paying musician, promotion, marketing, distribution, production. Plus he got commerce, which is aids to trade, retail, wholesale. That could be more farther from the truth. Because again, the root meaning from the word industry, which derives from the Latin word industrial, means diligence and hard work. And all 3 individuals Mr. Coxon, Mr. Duke and Prince Buster put in hard work and diligence. So that's far from the truth. To establish a record label, the Prince Buster record label, to establish the Coxon record label, and to establish the Duke Reed record label as well, which was called Treasure Isle.
Yeah.
We got a whole bunch of production. And that undergirds diligence and hard work. And that's the root meaning of the word industry. So that's far from the truth.
I might just had my bit here because I'm so passionate about the music industry and being a student of the music industry on an international scale. I know that's not true because yes, all music industry, whatever country, it's fragmented. However, the most important thing, it's moving parts because the music industry is not physical. It's also what you call intellectual property, things that you can't see with your naked eyes. Yet it has marketability and economic benefits. So you have to fully understand the inner workings of the music industry and how you earn income stream from that music industry. So you have to know the pipelines that the incomes flow from. So I'm happy to witness to say what you have just said really cement the thoughts that I hope going forward our practitioners will fully understand that music is a business, and if you are not prepared to deal with it as a business and you want to continue to hustle it, then other people will continue to benefit from our creativity because of our lack of understanding and implementing the strategies to go forward.
True. Because again, businesses, I mean, music business is just like any regular business. It's accounts receivable and accounts payable. Everything that goes out is documented, and everything that comes in is documented. Plus, they got different avenues. You got a promotional part, you got a marketing, you got a media. Okay, you got licensing department. This is the music business is a very large conglomerate, all working together, moving parts working together to what they said. The individuals is equal to the sum total. It's a cohesive, synergistic movement, like the B complexes work, B1, B2, B6, B12 work together for the good of the bigger picture.
I'm also aware that you are familiar with the legendary Sam Cooke, and Sam Cooke had that kind of problem with his American artists as well. You want to tell me what you know about Sam Cooke and in terms of the business and how you try to help these people from especially.
Oh man, well, Sam Cooke, I mean, and I always, well, let's go back to 1964, 65, 66. My father introduced me to Sam Cooke. Every Sunday, my father stayed on and played all the great songs, them from the Platters, the Drifters, the Brook Bentham, you name it, Nat King Cole and Chuck Jackson, Joe Tex, Solomon Burke, and one Sunday I was just horsing around my brothers and sister, Danny Dillon, jumping and making noise and everything. And my father played a song called Tammy, I think from the album called Try Little Tenderness with Sam Cooke. And I was making a noise, guys, and I was like a loud little boy and everything, very energetic and hyper and everything. But something about that man's voice has caught my ears, and I can still remember back in 1966, 65, my father playing a song called Tammy. And I just loved that song. The melody caught my ears, and his vocal tone, his timbre in his voice, the quality, his inflection, the vocal variety, and just the way he just bend the notes and suave and just shape it like a Picasso painting. He was painting his vocals like Michelangelo or Picasso would paint a picture and everything. And it got into my ears, and that was the great Sam Cooke. And lo and behold, like when I became a grown man and lived in Los Angeles, I started reading up about him. I went to a bookstore in Hawthorne Mall, a friend of mine bookstore, and I was just browsing like I always do, and I saw a book in the stand like maybe about about 6 or 7 feet away, and I got closer. I saw the book. It was entitled "You Send Me," and I was shocked. It was only one other book on the shelf and everything. And because I was a little boy, I was a very avid fan of Sam Cooke. I saw the book and I was gonna leave without a book, and I bought a book. It was about between 25 or 30 bucks. That's how much I love Sam Cooke, and I bought a book and everything. And lo and behold, later on social platform, a friend of mine called me and said, LC Cook, which is Sam Cooke's younger brother, wanted to meet with my dad because my father had helped him and hosted him while he was in Jamaica after they killed Sam Cooke. And one thing led to another and everything. And then he found out who I was. And then LC Cook started telling me my father took care of him when he was in Jamaica, drove him from Kingston Regal Theater back to about 16 one night and OTS or Montego Bay. And he loved my father. And he said, listen, we're a family. And he said, you can call me uncle and you my nephew, because when I was in Jamaica, your father wouldn't allow me to not even spend a dime. Every time I try to give your father some money, I always say, LC, your money's counterfeit. You know? So Sam Cooke has always been my man. I consider him to be the teacher. And even when Sam Cooke went down south to teach people like I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill.
That's
You know? What's Domino? Try to teach them about the music business. It was like unheard of because they didn't know that songwriter. I mean, as a songwriter, the publishing is basically yours, you know? And because you've been molded that way inside the corporate structure. I mean, like you always say, it's a knowledge-based industry. And if you're not unknowing or if you're ignorant, you're going to be exploited. So Sam Cooke was a teacher because he mastered the creative side of the business and, of course, the business, because Sam Cooke always say it's called music business. It's accounts payable and accounts receivable. And for that, I applaud him because not only he was a talent, he was a great businessman, started his own publishing company that predates Motown and Berry Gordy.
Certainly. Good. Before we go into our first section, that we want to play a song. So if you have any lined up, you can just play one. If Live have one lined up, you can just play that song. And I just ask the question, and then you play the song after. The next question I would like for your to give us your understanding is what is your understanding of dancehall? And with the proliferation of the term dancehall genre, and how do you respond to this as an entertainer or a music investor or someone who has been at the forefront of the music business at an early age, along with your dad?
Well, I tell you what, I was taken back when I heard what, according to the youngsters, they said there's a genre called dancehall. Because I can take you back to the 60s when my grandmother used to cook for my father's dance at Farces Hall on Jubilee, Liberty Hall, Chocomolan. And dance hall to me was basically a venue. That's where I got my first instruction from my matriarchal grandmother, Miss Elsada Brown, who was the chef of Western Kingston. We used to go to the slaughterhouse and get the mutton and cut up the mutton and everything and prepare the food. Then my father would send the truck with the sound system to come pick her up at Rose Lane, 28 Rose Lane. And as a little boy, I had no babysitter. So wherever my grandmother had to go, so my brother and I, Kareem or Dane, Danny and Dane, we used to jump in the truck and everything. My grandma put the stove on the kerosene oil and the coal from grass yard. And she used to go finish cooking. The location at Farces Hall, that right by Love Lane and North Street and everything. So to me, I grew up with the understanding that dance hall is a venue. Because it was the same venue, was a school during the daytime, during the week, Monday to Friday. And it was a lodge hall on the weekends. So my definition of a dance hall, basically from my overstanding from the 60s, it was a venue where the ska music used to play and rhythm and blues and all different kind of music. But I've come to acknowledge now, not necessarily acknowledge, to be a cognizance of where that they call a genre, a dance hall, which I'm still questioning it.
Okay. Do you have a song that just take us into the next section? Either you or Jalai, we just play a song.
Yeah, I say, oh, yeah. I said it used to be street dance.
Okay.
You see it on outing or outing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yes, yeah, yeah.
You see it. From me a little youth, my mother, my father, Sam Jeggy, the man they will start out enough. I man them.
Yep.
Sam Jeggy did the other day at 90.
Wow.
You
I remember,
see,
my grandmother said, yes, you're right, Jalab. I remember my grandmother used to take me down to the train station down Kingston. And we used to get on the train, end up to a place called Buff Bay, Port Antonio.
yeah, that are one of the first show the
Yeah.
planet are one of the first train station railway.
Yeah, down really. And my grandfather worked for them, that's why, yes. I
Yeah,
was go Buff
Bakawal
Bay,
area that
eat up,
again.
eat up that rice and peas. Yes.
Bakawal, a whole heap of, it's like them target this was still, them target Bakawal area because there's enough, the whole surroundings. Because the whole surroundings, from round a you they come right round and go round again. See it. But
True.
them thing they used to go on just like you say you know, other than street dance and people used to Chocomalan and them thing there and Farsazal and
Look
Carnival,
at
and
y'all.
North
Yeah.
Street there, Carnival and thing and North Street and Last Street there so. See it. People used to
True.
go out in.
Yeah.
All type of big people, whether them are churches or not.
Yeah, man. I
Out
still
in.
I still love that when they spread that
Yeah man.
big cloud on the sand and then start shoot the rice and peas and the gunga rice and peas, man, right on the waterfront there. I remember Port Antonio, we call it Buff Bay. I remember that
Yeah.
clearly.
Some people say outing, some say outing.
Oh, yeah, man.
You know, them days is nice, man. But you see what happen now? You see why so much things are going on and why they must say reggae is not this and not that and that. Yet reggae, like most of the people, them appear lie them tell. See them just a lie. See it. And the other people them we are talk now just take Twitter and say, you have to check it out. And them check out and some other people tell them lie again because them don't know. Them never live it like I and I. See where I
Mm,
said that? Them never
yeah,
live it. So them just talk anything and say, boy, them did this, them did that, them did the next thing.
yeah.
See, my uncle did in the army as a sergeant. And them people whole heap of Mr. Dad tune him. And you know see him name because what? Through him in the army, him the kind of him couldn't too out the like.
True.
See it. So and a whole heap of people just tell lie and say them play the bass and them do that and him blow the flute and him Mr. Dad get the upright bass. See it. The old man is another man again where him and my old man and see it. Sam Jagger
Mm,
them because Sam Jagger them used to keep the whole I dance with them man there too.
mm.
I don't know if you know him still, but Sam
Me
Jagger.
about, me about Sam Jagger, man.
Yeah
Mm.
man. Sam Jagger tell me he said when me I try find him to do a interview with him, man wind up dead. 90 at nearly
Wow.
100.
Wow.
His sister
Long
did
life.
little bit his sister did little bit half of him too. Close to 100 too. See it.
Mm,
I mean I look for him tell me certain more things. Because I say when him a keep dance with Joe Creed and Sir Coxon.
mm.
It's like one man, we're not going to even say it that way, let's see, but you say one man pay a whole heap of man for come a thief dance.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
the
yeah.
things there? Even though your father must say that because,
Yeah,
see,
man. Go over that,
and I
man.
hear them things there,
Yeah, man.
you know. So enough people talk and them just tell pure lie and people just adapt that and feel so
So
well.
as we are in the age of interpolation, and that's why these conversations are are so very much important, so we can set the record straight and correct them. And my father called it the interpolators, or they like to interpolate.
You know.
They dramatize and they add and they subtract and they divide and everything. But we're now living in a time of Aquarius, which is a geometrical level playing field. And what is not true is going to be challenges because, like I was telling Mr. Campbell, naked truth chasing a well just lie. And we have never been in a better time because now is the time of truth. It's called Revelation, the Apocalypse. So all these conversations and all these entity personalities going to start to meet up, going to start converge. It's a universal force because it's that time. It's the time of reckoning
And
and truth must be told.
that's why a man say to what we have in now is more like a reasoning. Because you see the
True.
conversation is con them really a con
Can.
one another and them keep doing that, you know. You know me already.
Yeah, man. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. That's
You
why
know,
there's
see,
word. There's
We are
words and
real.
there's definition
But
and there's connotation.
yeah,
That's why I always go back to root meaning. Once you go back to root meaning, it's called etymology, or the study of
no,
knowledge called epistemology. You know the root meaning from every word, like the word industry, coming from the word industrial, which means diligence and hard work.
cause the root no plant up in a year, you know. It's
All
have a
right.
plant down in the earth.
All
So
right. Now the darkness, and then
yeah, yeah,
sets a
that darkness
foundation.
came
Then
forth light.
it move from darkness to light. When it sets a foundation in the darkness, the root, so it can be stabilized.
And without
Okay.
the water it couldn't be.
True.
Let me just
Yes, sir.
interject here. In the absence of either you playing one of your father standard song, I would have to ask another question, and then you try and select a song.
Danny, Day, and Lorraine. Danny, Day, and Lorraine. These are three people in my life, and their mother will be my wife. Danny, Day, and Lorraine. I hope someday their lucky day things will come their way, and I hope and I pray for a faithful, wonderful day. Danny, Dane, and Lorraine.
Look outside, see if we see any rain.
I hear you. Go on, Charlie.
Why you can't shuffle now? Should I give them some of your skank, Danny?
I hear that, man. And of course, we just lost the great Lester Sterling coming up. Lester Sterling OD. The Jamaican Charlie Parker. Peace be unto you.
Yeah, man.
God rest your soul.
MPM and first tune in 1972 by Percy and Dennis.
Wow.
And the second and third and fourth and fifth. Lester and UNG and the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Lynn Kate and them members.
Dane, Lorraine. Danny, Dane, and Lorraine. These are three people in my life, and their mother will be my wife. Danny, Dane, and Lorraine.
Jerry and the guitar intro. Charlie going out now. Sweet foundation scale music.
Okay, Danny. Do you want to expand more on that particular song, or do you
Well,
want?
well, yeah, definitely. I must. That's definitely. That's in my concept. That's the most beautiful song ever written in the annals of songwriting history. Because that song simply suggests a song my father did about the family. Danny, Dane, and Lorraine. That's me. Formerly Donald Campbell. A nickname in Western Kingston was Danny. My brother Dane, which is Kareem. My sister Safia, which is Lorraine. And my mother to be his wife. But Prince Buster's first wife, Blossom Banton. Maiden name, but married name was Blossom Campbell. We had the first royal family of ska. And we were the first family to be recorded in a song etched back in 1963. So we are in the annals of ska history. And we are the royal family of ska, of course, Buster's biological family, and the real beneficiaries.
So, Thief, look out.
May I just add right here now then? Why do you say that your father, Prince Buster? Because I've heard it a number of times with your interview. That is a national hero. Can you justify that claim?
Well, I tell you what, like I was on the TVJ program this morning with me, Mr. Eric, what's his name? Neville Burgess, but I explained to him why Prince Buster is a national hero. You must understand that my father was born May 24th, 1938. At that time, there was a strike for the labor movement. They were just working on the building the factory for the West Indian Sugar Company and everything. And the people were fighting about the wages. They were trying to get at least £1 per day. Yeah, £1 per day, and they were struggling for that and everything. And of course, Mr. Bustamante stepped up and became the advocate for the rebellious class or for the striking workers. And that was about April of 1938 when we were building the West Indian Sugar Mill factory under the ownership of Mr. Tate and Mr. Lai. That was April. Here it is, less than a month after that, Prince Buster came from my grandmother and my grandfather's union. Fitz Egbert Campbell and Olive Campbell co-produced my father, Cecil Bustamante Campbell. So he was born on May 24th, 1938. Less than a month after the big strike and the big rebellion and the revolt about wages for the factory workers back in the 1930th April. So a result of that, because Mr. Bustamante had taken his advocacy and became the poster child for the labor revolt, the people in Tenement Yard back in 145 and a half Drummond Street said, Miss Hall, Miss Campbell, you got to name your son Buster. You see what Bustamante was doing for the striking workers and everything. He was an advocate in the face. So that's how he got the name Busta, which was spelled Busta. But after he became prominent in the boxing and the music business and started to make a name for himself, he transposed the spelling from Busta to Buster. Okay?
Yeah.
And rose up to fame, coming from humble beginnings, from a tenement yard, to be given Jamaica a national sound. Because we must remember, back in those days, Jamaica was like copying the rhythm and blues. Jamaica was like a little America. It was Fat
True.
Stamina and all the rhythm and blues
True,
music was
true.
selling. Buster couldn't afford to have afford the luxury of having a visa to go to the States to buy the rhythm and blues like Coxsone and Drew Kid could. And as a result, he tried to join the farm work to get a little escape so he could probably go up and get some records. But at the last minute, they kicked him out of the line and said, Buster, your hands are too soft to cut sugar cane. You're going there to buy a record. And they have it quite escaped that it was somebody dropped a dime on him to try to derail him from doing his musical venture. So at that time, he started building the sound boxes. He had gotten some money from my grandmother to help him as far as financing and everything. And he went to a man called Drum Bagel, who was to play at the supper club with Judge Jerry and everything. And that was the beginning of ska music. And it was the Buster Boop Boop beat that he created because he didn't have the money to go to the States just to oppose the rhythm and blues, which had dominated Jamaica. So my father always said he considered to be Jamaica's first musical revolution, because as a result of having Judge Jerry and the rest of the band members helping him, assisting him, shaping a sound for Western Kingston, by Western Kingston, for Western Kingston people. It works with the rhythm and the play of the people and the energy and the frequency movement of the people. And they called it Buster Boop Boop beat. And the Buster
Boogie
Boop
Yaga.
Boop beat,
Boogie Yaga music.
Boogie Yaga music too. And the Buster Boop Boop beat became the national sound. And like I said, from that, the rest is history. Coming from that humble beginnings, easing out, opposing the rhythm and blues, gained dominance. The rhythm and blues had to leave Jamaica, and that was the first musical revolution. And Buster was at the forefront. Subsequent in 1964, Buster headed up the World's Fair 1964 promotion, the World's Fair in Flushing, Queens, promoting ska music, setting up his own record office, production, producing, distribution, marketing, mastering, record label, jukebox, sound system, properties, okay? Other entrepreneurship type thing, one-man charity organization, a Muslim spiritual leader for Western Kingston, because he was the voice of the people. And that's another way you can understand. He was Prince Buster voice of the people slash book, because he advocate on behalf of the people. And the people always want to make Buster became prominent, because remember, in the early days, he had no money. All he had was the support of Western Kingston, because he was from the donkey people, so to speak. And they supported him. And for him to come from that humble beginnings in 1938, to be prominent, to give Jamaica a sound, launched it right there in Europe, that the skinheads had to back down when he went to England and everything. Setting up economies so Jamaica could have money. Moving from pounds could be moving from England now to Jamaica and Western Kingston, buying buildings, setting up infrastructures and everything, and doing a myriad of different business investment. He had to be a hero, because before Buster, there was nobody who did that. Singer, songwriter, producer, one stop, one shop, all. Not only that, in 1974, when he hosted Muhammad Ali, that's when he really became a hero, bigger than life personality. Because even the enemies of Prince Buster was really licking his boots, trying to get a photo up with Cassius Clay. So if you should deduce or condense all these things that Buster had done in Western Kingston as a young boy from the corner who entered the business when he was 16 years old, competing with elders like Duke Reed and Coxon, those were unprecedented feat. And that's why I know, I don't say it, I know he's a hero, because he gave Jamaica a national sound and gave them a music industry that they didn't have before. Because everybody was copying rhythm and blues, and Buster changed that, ushering all these different producers now coming in business, and the music evolved now from the mentor to the ska, to the rocksteady, to the reggae, now to the dancehall. The rest, they say, is our story, not his story, but our story.
You would still feel old man, and I know them thing there when Ali come, a Muslim, you never know nothing about no Muslim. And them man they come and see power with the old man and everything. No, enough people on the planet never see Muhammad Ali yet, much as even walk with him or shake him. No.
True.
See, probably enough of them government people to never even. So me I say, as some fighters.
Would I tell you what, Live, when Ali was in Jamaica, our phone rang 24/7. All the politicians, all the Jamaica bourgeoisie, all the bigwigs, even Buster's enemy was licking his boots trying to get a photo op.
That's right, come on. That's right,
That's when Buster became bigger than life.
And now them are going like.
Because the motorcade and the police were there, and he was secluded off. He had security and everything at the Sheraton, trust me. And every time he walks in Western Kingston, hundreds of people just flackering.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, man, that's a fact.
Come on.
The documents are there to prove it in the cleaner.
Come on. Yeah, I see it. And
that's how we got the name Ali. As a result of that, Elijah Moore changed our name from Campbell to Ali subsequently, because he met Ali back in the early 60s when he and Derek Morgan was in England performing.
Yeah, man.
Are any of your siblings online just now, Danny?
I told my sister was in her nursing department, and I told her she was supposed to be, entertain or patched, and I gave her the link.
So is Dana online now, or you want to continue to give us some achievement of Prince Buster that you want the public to be aware of?
Oh man, it's already done. It's a done deal. The works is there.
Yeah, no proof.
The unprecedented works is there, because again, when Bob Marley came from the country, the rural parts, Jimmy Cliff, Toots, they came to Kingston to establish themselves and get some opportunity, get somebody invest in them. Prince Buster initially took up his own money and invested in himself. That takes wisdom, that takes guts, that takes entrepreneurship, that takes skill to become your own singer, songwriter, label, producer, everything. That's unheard of. Only man did it in the States was like people like Sam Cooke. It was like a maverick trailblazing. And of course, the beginning of the music, the genesis, and gave Jamaica a sound that went global. That wasn't just a little run-of-the-mill sound. The sound took off to England, and of all them people, them skinheads and all them people that's loving the music. And back in those days, that's when you used to sell records. Records ain't selling no more. Back in those days, people just save their lunch money, walk, take the bus just to buy a record. Records was like liquid gold, like black gold. People would starve themselves and save to buy records. We used to have to go to the pressing plant, Cool to press records. Because we get them like 25 a box and everything. And sometimes we ran out. We got to go to get the stamp and go press some new ones again. So that was a music industry. Trust me. That's how Coxsone became prominent. That's how Duke became prominent. So I cannot adhere to that there was no music industry. No. Because the word industry means what? Diligence and hard work. And my father had the family to help him as well, because my job was to find the records and everything and run the errands and all this stuff. Pick up the bottles in the dance hall, go in the warehouse, find the labels, find the typesets, take them to the pressing plant and everything. Yes.
I'm a vinyl record collector of some sort. I just curious here because I'm not aware, so I just want to find out from you here now. Have your father, ever done recording for another producer? Because I've not seen it in any of my collections.
All right.
Can you tell
Again,
me?
and I'm glad you brought that up again. And that was unheard of. Buster only record for himself. Again, he had the understanding of becoming an entrepreneur, controlling your production. He put up his own money. Rest of the singers come trying to get hanging out with people, trying to walk from this producer to that producer, trying to get opportunity. Buster created an opportunity for himself. That's our biggest vision was. Create his own economical, social, and political destiny. That tells you what kind of person he was. He wasn't a run-of-the-mill person. And all them feet was unprecedented, because every other thing I tell you about, they were looking for a producer. Buster was his own producer. In-house. And there's also one more asterisk to his name as well. He never sang for no one, basically in Jamaica.
So you
He had
know
his
a
own
leader.
production company.
So you know a leader.
Yeah. He was already charting his own destiny.
Most one follow.
Yes.
And then them go on later on like them was the thing.
All right. And that's why Dr. Delbert, with his copper bracelet that I'm wearing, I have almost 25, 30 years. It's from a man out of Chicago, one of the greatest black metaphysician. He's now since passed. And my hat's off to him. And he went in the conversation, I understand that he has Jamaican lineage in a big office up there called Medicine in Chicago. And he always says, Sultan, you're a leader. And he described it to me. He said, leaders lead and followers follow.
Follow.
As per Dr. Delbert Blair from the Medicine in Chicago.
Yeah, man.
His master catalog, what figure you put the most masters that he has created? Can you put a
Priceless.
figure on it?
Priceless.
No,
When it comes to Prince,
in terms of
when-
numbers.
when it comes to Prince Buster, let me be succinct to you, Mr. Paul Michael. I'm going to explain to you. About 4 months ago, Jawai from New York sent me a copy of a song called Linger On. Just a 70-inch single. Back when my father's location was at 36 Charles Street with the man with the spear and everything. And that single was selling on eBay for over $4,000. Would you believe that?
Oh yes, certainly. As a
Okay.
collector, I'm
So
aware.
if you're talking about a single, a mint condition single,
Yes.
a 7-inch RPM 45, going for over 4,000. Just imagine the catalog. Anything that has Prince Buster name, image, and or likeness is priceless, because Prince Buster is the root of the Jamaica music business. Not the stem, not the branches. Matter of fact, I want to say the seed,
Mine, you know.
because the seed that really produced the roots.
Mine, you
Because
know.
before there was nothing. Everybody was playing rhythm and blues. And they called it Buster Idiot Boop Boop Boogie music. But the boop boop beat became the national sound. Because you promoted to his sound system, Prince Buster, first voice of the people.
The blackhead
Matter of fact,
Chinese,
Prince,
you know.
matter of fact, Prince Buster was the first man to take the Rastafarians into a recording studio to record a song of Carolina that gave Shaggy a career. So all these
Glad you
people in the
mentioned
Rastafarians,
that,
they should
you
love
know.
Prince Buster. Prince Buster brought them to the forefront, bucking the system again. changing the social paradigm, the social demographics. That takes leadership, that takes courage, that takes vision. That's why he's a hero. So all the Rastafarian from either house, Bubba Dread, you name it, 12 tribe, in the music business, they should thank Prince Buster. Prince Buster brought Count Ozzy at Warwick Hill, first time to record studio, and they said the rest is our story. Unprecedented feat. Those feats are priceless.
What is his relationship with these groups, Madness and the Specials?
Oh man, like I told Mr. Neville today, in Europe, Prince Buster is like a god. I visited Europe for 2 weeks. I was in a Coventry, Portsmouth, and I'm telling you, all them people in two-tone music, they idolize my father, Prince Buster. Matter of fact, he was the first one to get a star in the Coventry Two-Tone Museum. I know you saw him with that star. That was back in 2017. I was there alongside Mr. Charlie Agonier. Winston Francis came to the inauguration, and he was the first star to be put on the wall of the Two-Tone Museum in Coventry. All them people love Prince Buster because Prince Buster gave Madness a career. He gave the Specials and the Selectors. And most of the groups are named after him. They even got a group called Orange Street. They got a guy called himself Buster Blood Vessel. They even got a racehorse in England called Prince Buster. There's young girls in Mexico that say Princess Buster. That Buster name is no joke. Like I said, it's priceless. And the people are willing to pay for that. Trust me.
Good. Can you see if any of your father colleagues are online that they can get some information from them as well?
Oh, wow. You see, I don't want to click off my phone because she was supposed to send that links to my brother Dane, and she was to come on as she promised me, and then she was driving from her office down in downtown Miami. But I sent her the link, and she was supposed to come on momentarily. Because if I switch off on you, I'm going to cut you off to get back with her.
Yeah, Peter cut off, and we don't know
Is, Jalai, is there any recordings of Prince Buster you want to play just now? Then move to
Yeah, I
the
can do that.
next section.
Yeah, I have a series there, you know.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, while I track her down.
I was born about the world. Living in a happy world.
And the Jedi Fatah. Alright. Saying it's like Prince Buster.
You know why you name brother? You up now. It's not a name, you know. But my friends them, you know, them call me Johnny. Them mean, you know, Johnny Cool. Oh, so you name Johnny Cool.
Prince Buster and Scratch Perry.
You know, Johnny Rough. Oh.
Scratch Perry.
But then I get everybody cool with me now. And I rope up my girls them sometime. And when I'm going to them things there, they become an icebox man. So I get real cool. And I'm stick on the name by me. Johnny. The boy go used to say, Johnny, hold on. Cool Johnny. Cool. Johnny. Music sweet, you know. But dance can't show. Oh, dance with you. When one them so hot. And you feel so cool. So Johnny, you know why I said that?
That boss may touch something. Engineer Mike. Yes, yeah.
I think he turned off his camera. He might be on a call.
Eh?
He might be on a call.
I want you to speak to me. Ciao, hold on, Johnny. Let go.
Right, I'm going backstage again.
Let go. Get up. Hold on, Johnny.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Continue playing.
Yeah, keep playing. I think I think we lost him. He might try and come back on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Danny, Dane, and Lorraine. Danny, Dane, and Lorraine.
Yes, Paul. Need a bit line up to you know.
In my life,
Okay, good.
and your mother will be my wife. Danny, Dane, and Lorraine. I hope someday their lucky day things will come their way, and I hope and I pray for that faithful, wonderful day. Danny, Dane, and Lorraine. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. Well, it's cold outside. I've got the month of May. Well, I guess you say what can make me now feel this way. It's my girl, my girl. I'm talking about my girl, my girl. I got so much money, cause we had this day.
You hear that?
I got a sweeter song to sing than the birds in the tree. With I guess you say what can make me now feel this way. It's my girl, my girl. I'm talking about my girl, my girl. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't need no money, fortune or fame. I got all the riches, baby, any one man can claim. I guess you say what can make me now feel this way. It's my girl, my girl. I'm talking about my girl, my girl. I got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl. I even got the month of May with my girl. I'm talking about my girl. These are the times when every young man must have a aim. You can't stand all alone in shame. So brother, oh brother, better beware. Beware, oh brother, better beware. your cares will drive this fear away. So please carry your way each and every day. So brother, oh brother, you better beware. Beware, oh brother, you better beware. I'm gonna change my way of living, cause one of these days I'm gonna make a big Thanksgiving to the Lord I mean, to the Lord I mean, to the Lord I mean, to the Lord I mean. I'm gonna thank him for all that he has done. His blessing and guidance to my enemies' hands. That's the Lord I mean. 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 To me, he is so good. Treat me like no other one else could. When trouble seems to get me down, he lifts me up and he turns me around. That's the Lord I mean. 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 He's my shepherd through my life, keeps me from all war and strife. I feel strong with his helping hand, and I can never, never, never go wrong. Let the Lord I mean. Let the Lord I mean. Let the Lord I mean. That's the Lord I mean. That's the Lord I mean. That's the Lord I mean.
Paul, can you hear me, Paul?
Yes, yes, we are hearing you. Good.
All right, get Michael to get me back in the video.
He's here. Michael?
But I'm not sure if his camera is on.
It's not on.
Yeah, he has to turn it on. He has to go to the thing.
But the Lord will wash all my troubles away. Oh yeah. And we'll know that I'm the King.
You not see me?
No, not yet.
You have to turn on the camera.
It's already.
So maybe switch the camera to the camera that faces you. If you're on the phone.
Sing my song. Cha cha cha. Reggae is all around.
Let's switch to the other camera. You turn off the camera there. Or just switch the camera on your phone from one to the other one. From the front to the back camera or the back to the front camera.
I was just on a while ago.
Listeners, just bear with me. Yeah. You want to say the media thing are going on.
All right, when he comes back on, I'll come back on. Okay, here it is. Here we go. All right, now turn
Yeah,
your phone
yeah, I
landscape.
see.
There you go. All right.
Crossway.
Okay,
Yeah, that was good.
we come close to the end of our section. If you don't get any your siblings, Danny, or any of your
I
father.
just spoke to my sister. She's supposed to be coming on momentarily. Lorraine.
Okay, all right. So let me just ask you one of the burning question that I have here in terms of our music here. Um, to me, there's a concept that is making the rounds that copyright is legislative monopoly and that copyright is censorship. What is your understanding of copyright? And could you tie that into with the latest scene from the Broadcasting Commission, where they had implemented a ban because of certain derogatory music that were on the general public earspace?
Well, as you already know, from the Berne Convention, that was about 1863. Once your song has been recorded, from the minute that master taping, you concluded, like you finish the song like 3.5 minutes, and you stop the machine. That's an instantaneous copyright if you're following in pursuant to the Berne Convention. But just for legalities and everything, they always say basically to get it registered because again, the copyright in Washington D.C. Library of Congress doesn't really give you a copyright, so to speak. What it does, it gives you a date stamp, a date mark. See, that means Mr. Jalai probably had a song, and we might have the same song, and Jalai kind of register it before me. It gives you a date stamp, like almost like what we call a poor man's copy written and everything. So the instantaneous copyright is hidden from the Berne Convention. I think it's about 1863. Once the machine stopped, you have an
1869.
instantaneous copyright. But
Yes.
because again, sometimes legality is an infringement, and they're trying to get a date factor of when you did and how you did it and everything, they always suggest that you register with the Library of Congress. And that daytime date, like for example, today with May 24th or May 20th, whatever, you'd have a time to employ a certain protection if there's a copyright infringement or some kind of future litigation.
Certainly. That's my understanding. So I was surprised to read these, what they call intellectual papers that they put that argument forward. And I wonder how that really advance, our copyright when it talk about censorship. Because
Well,
you can censor the public airways, but you can't censor the underground. And certainly our copyright owners don't need no legislative approval from our parliament. Once you created something that tangible for, whether written or recorded, that's copyright. And you don't even have to use your local situation to get your music out there, distribute it. You can put it wherever, especially with the internet. You can always get your music out there. So certainly, I know that argument had a lot of flaw to it.
Well, you got people out there again. Is interpolators. People gonna add, subtract, delete, and put a spin in it because a fool is born every day, and that's why they have a thing called caveat emptor. Emptor. They say buyers beware. You see, we gotta vet everything. Make sure it holds its own in weight and in truth and in fact, because there's a lot of deception out there. People exploit through ignorance, through deception, bait and switch and everything. So one has to be very, very diligent in what you do. Because again, like I always say, business entails warfare. Are you going to protect your bottom line, which is plus or minus a loss or a profit? Somebody's trying to derail you. Someone trying to put a fast one on you and everything. So it's a struggle to keep your head above water and keep your business thriving. And the competitors trying their best to knock you out and everything, any kind of which way.
And in addition, fundamentally, copyright is all about controls. And these controls are what drives and dictate the music and the money inside of the music industry. So I can't see how that can be practical. Legislative monopoly or censorship. We would not, there would not be any means or any interest or anyone to create anything then if any federal government could do anything to stop you from putting out your music out there without that. There are systems out there. For instance, the Library of Congress, for those in the United States, you would have to register your copyright when you create it, so they have a record of it. And if there's anything that is not too cautious for the government, they would simply wait and they stop it from there. Likewise, here in Jamaica, our National Library of Jamaica on Tom Redcan Road, they have that responsibility, and they should enforce it also. Whatever any Jamaican created, whether it's through recordings or any creative work, it should be. It's a part of our law that it must be submitted to the National Library, and they would vet it. So there's no need for our Parliament to stop creativity, because that would be practical going forward as creative person. I see Mr. Kareem is online, so
Hey, brother.
How you
Salam
doing?
alaikum, my brother.
Walaikum salam.
Let
Greetings
me
and
give you
good
a
evening to
kiss.
everyone.
That's my baby brother. You heard about the famous Danny Dane and Lorraine?
certainly good.
Hey,
Well, Dane is
Kareem,
Kareem.
can,
I'm waiting for Lorraine
can,
Safia to
can you turn
contact
your
us
phone
momentarily.
on landscape mode?
I was low on charge. Let me try. Hold on.
Yeah, there you go. All right, perfect.
Good. So Dan, you can go ahead and introduce Dylan for him to give us his experience with
This
this.
is my younger brother. What we call himself? We up in school. I was Donald Campbell, aka or PK Danny, and he was Donovan Campbell, Dean Campbell, who became Dane of the song Danny Dane and Lorraine, and he's now Kareem Dean Ali. So welcome him to the program. Of course, you heard me talk about this today in a small Jamaica program about the Danny Dane and Lorraine, the first royal family of ska. Well, he follows me. He's second, Danny Dane and Lorraine. I'm waiting for my sister, who's Lorraine, momentarily. So welcome, my brother Kareem.
My
It's a
pleasure.
pleasure
My
for us
pleasure.
to have you on, Kareem. So you can go ahead and give us some background yourself and with your father and the knowledge that you have
Oh,
gained from the experience around it.
I'm a little bit late to it. I'm not sure, even sure what's going on. What I can say is that we were fortunate to have Yusuf Ali as our father, Prince Buster. And he grew us up as far as the first thing I think he gave us, the greatest gift, is knowing God. That's the first thing. And he had us working from we were very young to become, whether it be music or business or whatever, he kept us actively engaged and spiritually challenged at every time, at the moment. So he left us a legacy, both music and business otherwise.
Yes. How are you using your knowledge of the business now to leverage what he has left, that large legacy?
Well, for right now, I've actually been producing a few artists over the years and shows and entertainment segment. I'm really an engineer by profession, but music is a part of my life, so I tend to always stick close to it. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, I'd actually stepped back and invested more into real estate and stuff like that, which was stable to weather the economic changes. So I've stepped away for the last 2 or 3 years, but it has throughout the many years, 20, 30 years, I've always been engaged in entertainment, producing artists, putting on shows, Barris, Marcia, different people throughout the years. Beanie Man, Lady Saw, different people. So I've
That,
always stayed close to the music, even
that's
though I
interesting.
diversify in other things.
That's interesting though, because I've noticed the social media posting. Realize that Dan is prominent with his advocacy. So I think you should join us, that we can know of these things through the social media as well.
True. The concept is true what I do, like with the music, with the artists, we play different positions, I would like to term it that way. One person is playing forward, actively out there all the time, where someone plays the defensive role. Always ready to step in if there's a need. Like, no, I didn't even know. I just got this text message about 10 minutes ago to get on this call. So that's why I'm a little bit slow about it. I wasn't sure what was going on. I just got a text message, join this call now. I suspect today is our father's birthday, so I suspect it had something to do with it. So I just jumped on. So, like I said, I'm always ready to move, so I would play defense, like the fireman.
Okay. For both of you here now, then, are there any suggestions you want to put forward to assist our music industry? As a music industry, talking specifically about Jamaican music industry. Danny, you want to take on that first?
Well, like I tell you, because my studies, again, I am beyond, from the years you were talking to me, Mr. Paul Michael Campbell. You know, I'm outside of the box. When it comes to academia, I've been there, done that, and I go to like the etymological part of the word and everything. And when you use the word like industry, remember that English is somewhat not a pure language. It takes a little from Latin and Hebrew to make ourselves almost like a mud, so to speak. So we got to go to the root of this knowledge, what we call etymology, and understand what the root meaning of the word industry comes from the word industria, which is Latin, which means hard work and diligence. So that means there had to be an industry in Jamaica, because Prince Buster established his recording business there. Mr. Cox and Dad, Studio One, established his business right there in Jamaica as well. And of course, his counterpart, Mr. Duke Reed,
Duke.
Treasure Ave, Bond Street and Charles Street. So the music industry is there. It's just that, again, because most of the elder players are done been deceased. My father is gone, Duke Reed is gone, Cox is gone, Miss Pottinger gone, and Ruby Edwards, Clancy Eccles. A lot of the major players are gone. There are people assume the vacuums, assume their position, and sometimes, not majority of the time, they interpolate, they twist things and spin things and doctors things and add and subtract and divide. But we gotta thrive in music industry. It does need to be more, I should say, more equitable, more honest, more real. And as far as the business, because really music business, like any other corporation, it's accounts payable and accounts receivable. And now everybody's like hustling the thing. And like Sam Cooke says, music business. There's a myriad of influence as far as income stream in the music business. Whether it's synchronization, rights and everything, licenses deal. Because music, I always say, music sells everything. Music sells every product and every services. Because there's always a soundtrack behind every marketing component.
Yeah. Are both of you satisfied with our present stakeholders and the direction that they're taking our music internationally?
I don't want to comment on that. I want to make something that I am concerned about the music industry. That not much thought is being given into the founding fathers of Jamaica. Like Sultan just said, he mentioned Sir Cox and Dad, Duke Reed, and Prince Buster. When this thing started, the effort that was put into it today, they need to recognize where it came from and why it was started. And more time needs to go into the production of the music rather than copying and just songs that just last for a period, a passing sensation. They don't. Most
Yeah.
of them don't last much. There are
Yeah.
good artists out there just the same, Shaggy and different people. But most of the newer artists, the latest ones I've seen now in the 2020s, is more of a hustle game going on now, from what I'm seeing. And I'm a bit concerned about that because the music won't play for the next 10, 20 years, the ones that are being made now in particular. There's been a transition and the artistry is gone. The creativity musically is not there much. Lyrics is good and the tones and the voices are good, but the music itself, for some of the DJing part of it, is a question mark for me personally. Now we have Afrobeat taking a space for some of our market share as well because of that.
Okay. Your position with that, Danny, in terms of leadership from whether the associations here in Jamaica or from government or from private investors who are label owners. What your suggestion to them?
Well, from day when I tell you, I'm a very critical thinker because the power is not in the box. The power is always outside of the box. And I refuse to be a crab in the barrel. And I'm always vetting. You see, I consult, just like when I met you, Mr. Paul Michael Campbell. I didn't know you from Adams. But by talking to you about 3 or 4 years, it's like we are family. And everything I do in Jamaica is run basically off through you. You're like my eyes and ears or nose in Jamaica. So you got to vet these people because a lot of them are bait and switches. A lot of them are scammers. Is a lot of hustling thing because everybody coming to this business want the overnight success. Because 9 to 5, you can break even a 9 to 5. Because 9 to 5 has arrested your development. It is a modern day slave, like a hamster in the wheel, spinning. And like my good mentor and one of my greatest artists ever lived, Marvin Gaye, said, money we make before we see it, you take it. Because the IRS, you don't pay them. You work, but they pay you. I question stuff like that. So when it comes to Jamaica, I'm always vetting people, everything, because I know the love, you see, the love has to be there. Love is what nurtures things. Like when they asked Brother Bob Marley, never will be interviewed. Bob, you're a rich man. Him say, me rich? No, my father rich. Are you a millionaire? Him say, listen, I'm just going to play some music and praise Jah. And if Donny come, Donny come. But I'm going to play some good music. And I'm always told that, don't worry about the money. Put in the work. The work would produce the money. Like I'm always like principle over principle. Principle is primary, principle is secondary. But some people put the secondary before the primary. And my teacher, my beloved grandmother, matriarchal grandmother, Miss Elsader Brown, she always said, put the cart before the horse. A lot of people put the horse before the cart. Want to go forward, but they keep going in reverse. Because everybody's hustling now. And everybody got money hungry. And there's no money out there. It's just fiat money. Real money is silver and gold. So once you have assets like music business and everything, you can always get a deal some kind of way. Because again, music sells everything. But again, Jamaica, it needs leadership. Because everybody's in a hustling thing. They call it chopping now. Chopping this and chopping that. And the people are in for a quick gratification. Not like some of the great musicians from Jamaica, like Tom Bell, who gave his life to music, the great Lester Sterling. And my dad, and let me acknowledge some great people who just passed. Because I always like to give credit to the people who I came, because I'm influenced by all of them. First, let me send some condolences to the families of Linda Lewis. Linda Lewis, when I first came to Hollywood 40 years ago, we live adjacent up in Hollywood Hills. She was the wife of Jimmy Cregan, who played a Rod Stewart guitarist song called Do You Think I'm Sexy? She just passed. And she was a big star for 40-something years in Europe. She just passed. Carlton Coffey, the ex-lead singer for the Inner Circle. When I was in Pompano about 2 years ago, I was in Pompano for about a week to perform at Eugene Gray. He came to my hotel. He picked me up. He took me to my interviews and everything. And it was beautiful. And he said something to me while I was on the way to the show with Larry McDonald, who plays with Lee Scratch Perry, he's now with the Scatterlights. And of course, Brian Atkins, who played for Cox, he was a bass man in Sound Dimension. He said, Danny, I'm not coming to the show tonight, but when you finish the show, done. And so said, so done. So Scadolin system, I didn't know he died back in January. I just found out about it and everything. He was a beautiful brother, talented brother too. It sounded just like Bob Marley. And of course, to the man who I met while I studied contract law at UCLA in Westwood, Mr. Harry Belafonte. 1995 in Glendale, who told me that ska is the best music that ever came out of Jamaica. And he was the first man to sell 1 million records in America,
Yeah,
RIAA.
man. Yeah,
Before Frank Sinatra, before Pat Boone, before all of them. Mr. Belafonte set the standard in America. And he was one of
for
RCA's
Grammy.
greatest artists.
For Grammy.
And as a result of that, he was the one man who was totally responsible for there being a Grammy Award. So all them aspiring artists who aspire for Grammy, you need to show your sign of gratitude to Mr. Harry Belafonte. Because as a result of his 1 million record sale, they or the Banana Song, they became a Grammy Awards. Because if you look at the Grammy Awards and look at the RCA Victor, the Grammy just copy the RCA Victor with the dog.
Thank you. I noticed Sapphire, which is Lorraine, is online. Can we?
Oh,
Michael?
Danny. Hold on. Look. Let me play that song again. Let me play that song again. It's apropos now because we got all three here. And this doesn't happen every day because everybody busy living their separate lives. So it's just special. Very much special. Jalife, could you cue up that song, Danny? I don't know if you have it accessible.
Yeah, Jalai, he has it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
Can you play it, Jalai?
Not sure it the right thing. I'll try it.
Hold on. But keep conversation going, Mr. Paul Michael Campbell, while I consult.
It's a pleasure to have all three.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. Thank you for inviting us.
It's a pleasure to be on.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Jalife, you got it. Yeah, Jerry with the guitar intro, the Gibson. Beautiful.
Danny, Dane, and Lorraine. Danny,
So, Lorraine, is it raining where you are?
It was
I
raining
don't see your
earlier on
face.
today.
The place.
Heavy rain, and it's insufficient right now. Yeah.
and your mother will be my wife. Danny,
South Florida weather.
Dane, and Lorraine. I hope someday we're lucky day. Things will come their way. And I hope and I pray for that faithful one day. Danny, Dane, and Lorraine.
See, Danny, yeah, your fleshship mentioned something very important. You know. You said it before and your fleshship said it after, and that's something I ever say. You see, the youths, them not give father no props, and not pay father no mind, no care how great them is. And later on, them want come cash in. You know?
It's just some people don't plant, but they love to reap.
Yeah. See, like when I would I speak of father, them youth and they like that. They want to shoot father.
Wow.
You know, see?
When you think about the amount of rhythms that the man them lick over between Coxsone and Jupiter and voice over,
You know?
them should really pay honor and recognize and pay tribute to these founding fathers of Jamaica's music.
I see two youth are fighting someone there right now. We say, oh, you know my father picked me. And we shake it. Probably the one who I said, so I don't feel picked me that. So it's like
Jalai.
them do wait until you pass and them go on, you know, see. So I like how you stand up and deal with the case instead of, you know, see it. You see,
Jalai, I don't mean to cut you, but my sister and brother don't know who you are. Would you please officially introduce yourself?
okay. I am what I call Hyman Wright. It's a right son. Well, Danny, know. You do that, you know. You know the whole of the ropes from
Come
Washington.
on, tell them about Carol and
Oh,
everything, man.
oh,
Come
you
on,
mean
man.
That's why I
rights
say
on
you, you know.
Weymouth Drive?
Yeah, say that. We
Rights on Weymouth Drive?
Yes,
Right.
say that
yeah.
again.
The right side of the yes, Kareem, yeah.
I'm slow
Yeah.
to listen. I just got the word. Honestly, it's just about maybe half an hour now I get this text. I don't know what I'm speaking to. I just jumped in because I was asked to jump in. But there was a call. So anyway, you're related to. Tell us now. What's the background? It's all right.
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. From Washington Garden. You used to have a
Jewelry
jewel
store?
store behind
Okay, I got you.
Times Square.
Okay.
Yeah. You know.
With
Washington.
Pleasure.
the Grand Torino. Mm.
Yeah, the Grand Torino.
This goes way back. This goes way back in
Yeah,
from
man.
like
From 60s. I him
60s, late
and
60s, early 70s, late 60s.
I him give when name the
Stranger Cole.
with Stranger Cole the record shop on North Street and Large Street. Right across from the Town School.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You
And
know?
like I always say, Mr. Wright was the first house to have a sliding glass door. We are number 2. I never forget that in Washington
No,
Gardens.
say that is if all.
It's a
Yeah, man,
fact.
we are youth.
It's a fact.
Me never even know about them things, but it never come in like nothing.
It's a
And me
fact.
see people, yeah. As me I show them with your, me I tell you about your old man, buckle stop house up across stadium there, and
Mm.
thing, and I said, why, rate him more than anything else for that.
I just
I
same story
rate my,
walking with Siaga and Charles Street, Elko Boy and
yeah,
Charles Street.
yeah, walk with Chicago, and you are tell me something different. Now you put me in the higher seat.
Oh
You
man,
see?
Mr. Wright go way back with we. Listen,
Yeah, me
when we
know,
live
but
at
me, I say me I put your old man in the high seat where you
It
come
sounds
down
good.
and
It sounds
draw
good.
down for me.
Listen. We are mature people. It's when you're
You
youngsters,
see,
you don't understand life. There's envy and jealousy. There's enough to go around. I am
enough.
breathing here in Los Angeles. You are
Yeah,
breathing in New
man.
York. Paul Campbell in Jamaica. Both my brothers and sister is in Florida, and Mr. Michael is in Boston.
Yeah, from you say
We
that, you want to
we gotta
show
come.
himself.
The genius right there. We gotta come together. Listen, we're living in a critical time now. We have now entered the age of Aquarius. And
What
one has to
is?
know what time
What
it is.
is?
Elijah
Enough
Muhammad
people
said,
don't know that.
time
People don't know that.
because they're unconscious.
We're supposed to be in it still, but
But
enter it.
they're not
Yeah,
cognizant because they're busy in a hamster wheel, in a
yeah,
matrix society.
yeah.
We are in a geometrical level playing field and we gotta rise the bar. I got 3 children behind me. My son, Prince, Zarf, and Shadib.
You're
And
really in
my
it.
brother, my brother got children, and my sister got sons and everything. So we got to think about the next generation. We got to get our stuff together so we can facilitate them. So it's bigger than even me,
Yeah, we're
but
out of the
I'm willing to pay
crisis.
the price to settle everything. Yeah,
Yeah, the two fish. So we enter into the sea now,
So
the water.
it's the age of
Lorraine,
Aquarius,
Yeah,
enlightenment.
yeah. Go into the city, see a man bearing a picture of water,
All
follow him
right,
into the house
Luke
or wherever.
22:10. Follow him to the house and get his instructions.
Yeah,
And wherever there's
wherever,
water, there's life.
whoever and wherever he said to go or this and
All
that.
right, now you're talking,
Enough
Jalai.
people don't know them things, man. I taught them, you know how much
But
years me
they're
I taught them,
unconscious.
and people them not pay it no mind.
No, the Quran said they will soon come to know if they only but knew.
Yeah, you know,
The
see,
reality of the world will come. Trust me.
yeah,
Because
them not
this
pay
right
it
here
no mind,
is
no.
now unprecedented. This is a
You know?
spiritual divine for this day.
And I see a man with them a worse ship, not worship, but worse ship. I just see a man with them I do, him say that, say, tell her that man in the house,
We
and
know we know
wherever
you've been
he
we know
going.
you've been around in New York, the Brooklyn here a long time. Let me
Yeah,
give Mr. Paul Michael to
yeah.
introduce himself officially to my brothers and sisters because I use remits in his duty. I mean he was in the rear engineering this documentation here.
Oh, me.
Tell my brothers and sisters
Okay.
who you are.
Yeah, man. All right. So I'm Michael Harris. I teach. I just moved back to Boston. I was in Jamaica for about 15 years, but I went to Berkeley as a student. I'm teaching at Berkeley College of Music now, voice and theater and stuff. But I also have a platform, online course platform called Reggae Online that has courses about reggae, about Jamaica, about the history, about different things with the culture. So on that platform, I have a course with Paul. Paul wrote a course on making money from your music, the music business aspect of it, and so some other stuff. So that is my. I'm here because Paul called me last night, late. Last night I said, "Oh, we're doing this thing tomorrow." we can use you can use your platforms. I was like, wait, what? All right, yeah, man, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. So here we are. But anything to further the education, to further the history and the knowledge. I'm here. I'm here for that.
Thanks.
Grateful for your
Peace
effort.
and love.
Thank you.
Peace and love.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lorraine, can you officially introduce yourself to us and give us
Including a picture.
some memories
Well, I
of
think I would
music?
have been there, but I'm practically going to bed. So
Ah, come on.
Apparently,
This is my bedroom.
nurses do like a 12-hour shift. She
She
probably came
works
up a
early
12-hour shift.
shifts, so I
But she's
guess.
somewhat beat, so we gotta give and take with her this time.
One night now hurt nothing. You know much thing me do feed the already and you sleep.
She's modest in that sense,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
Ah,
I am Lorraine, the third of my two brothers. Grew up in Jamaica. Went to school, went to college, did business.
Baccarat area again.
Hmm? Hello?
Baccarat surroundings.
We are from 28 Rose Lane, man. Rose Lane, Western Kingston. And I wrote that. Elcida Brown, one room.
Granny. The Granny. I always talk about that.
Granny, yeah.
So I'm here now living in South Florida here. But here where I reside, strictly especially our parents, to educate the younger ones where our roots have come from and to carry that torch with them to teach the younger ones. Just for if you don't know
But Michael, can you tweak that audio, please?
It's I can't do much. It has to do with her mic.
It's the
and
network
connection.
connectivity on
It's a
her
network
side.
connection, yeah.
It's somewhat intermittent.
Might have to find a better spot.
Well,
to speak.
Mike have
Right.
feelings too, it's in the dark. What you expect?
Okay, Jalai.
Nice segue, Jalai.
Due to technical difficulty, we might have to pass on that. So the call here is to educate others on the music business industry and strategies through which people can make money from the business, to educate, inform about music as a business as well as the entertainment aspect. I'm trying to
Yes.
get the full scope of the project or the objective. Sounds like you
This
guys are doing some good things.
This was
either way.
for
Can you-
Sophia or for me?
No, I'm just making a statement of
Oh.
what I'm learning of what you guys can do or trying to do
Oh.
by educating
Yes.
the masses in general on
Right.
the music, the history, the business aspect of it,
Yes.
and so forth.
And even the
And
production
reminding some of the
part of it.
history as well, because we
Absolutely.
oftentimes forget the history and only remember the present. But
Absolutely.
we got
absolutely.
here somehow, or how did we get here? You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And I'm very much into
A comprehensive approach.
Yeah,
Comprehensive.
man. Because if you don't know where you're coming from, you can't really build on it. You know what I mean? So
All right.
you're going to be recreating the wheel
Absolutely.
over
You
and
don't
over.
have a
That's what I
sense.
said
You don't have a
earlier
sense
on.
of direction or
Absolutely.
gravity. You're lost.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you have to have a grounding, So
You got to know
so
from
that's
whence you came, and that's why
right.
it's a scare music.
Yeah.
And when I met Mr. Belafonte, when he told me in 95 on a Glendale movie set with John Travolta, he said, Ska is the best music that ever came out of Jamaica. Just imagine how I felt. Just like you said at the law class and drove up to Glendale and I bumped into a man about 40 feet away from me sitting in the director's chair reading the script. That was Mr. Harry Belafonte. He just passed the other day. And every time I think about him, I say how great that man was to take our culture, Deo song, and bring it to America and sell the first million record, open up the door for all them other black artists. He was one of the biggest artists.
Banana boat.
Banana Boat. Plus, my father was also on RCA Records when he
I was
did
about
the
to
Ten
say,
Commandment album.
the RC album, yes.
You see, with all the
Probably
great
second
songs, Ten
artist.
Commandments, female and male,
Mm-hmm.
and countrymen and all that saying, "Girl, why don't you answer to your name and everything?" And it was the big song in America at that time. It was the Ten Commandments. That was about 68. And in 67, the big song in England was Al Capone. So he had two hits on both continents at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he predated Millie Small. Because there's a video going around now, 1964, when he entered England, April of 1964, with the I Feel the Spirit album. It was like 2 months predating Chris Blackwell production of My Boy Lollipop.
Okay. Nice.
So it's not an easy feat for you to become a singer, songwriter, producer, executive producer, marketing, the artist itself, on the location, on the show. Trust me, it's like a one man win a myriad of hats, so to speak.
And
That's unprecedented.
Jamaica gifted for that, you know. Remember one man band? Man cat, one of the man cat with every instrument, everything him blow, him sing, him do everything, jump, everything on the hand cat. Call him one man band.
Mm.
Man, I know I gifted for things like those, but I don't know if it's the youth them
So
or what.
any closing comment from any of the biological children of Prince Buster? Because we're coming to the end of the show. 2 hours.
Uh, let me just say this. Let me go on record right quick. Let me say this before I'm remixing my duty. The first royal family of Skia consists of Mohammed, I should say Cecil Eustace Bustamante, Mohammed Y. Ali, PKA, popularly known as Prince Buster. My mother, Blossom Campbell. Danny, Donald, Sultan Ali, Kareem or Donovan Ali, Dane, and of course, Lorraine Safia Ali. We are the first royal family of Ska. That song, Danny, Dane, and Lorraine, came out 1963. And our name has been etched in the annals of Ska history. And Ska is Jamaica's first national sound, which is a world music. Like I told him today.
I love beat to the teeth, liar than teeth. I mean, I'm not pretty it up. You know, I can't talk pretty like. Love when them get it, man. You see it. Them too evil, man. No, sir.
But the time is coming. Again, we're in the age of Aquarius. You see what Aquarius really means. Like you said, the man come to the house and the what picture and everything. A what is life?
Yeah.
Anything that's on the planet that's not natural, unnatural, anything that's recessive, the dominant gene is going to move it. The universal force, the cosmic way is working for us. We don't even have to pull a gun. The universal mother nature, father time is working for us because it's time for the melanated people to step up because we are the head and not the tail. It's a reversal role, and that's why they're word right now. Because the scripture said the bottom becomes the top and the top becomes the bottom.
Well, see, it look like all who behave certain way, you know, them come out foot way. And don't come out head way.
All right.
But
So
that's
that means
the word.
they've been damaged. They've been damaged at the end of the birth of entry.
All them own mother, them damage coming
Yeah.
out foot way. You know?
Where's that guy?
So much things
So
to talk about.
Kareem and
So
Sophia.
back to you, Mr. Paul Michael Campbell, our namesake.
Yes, I mean, I understand how Paul time. I think we just have reason go on.
Because like I said, Danny, Dan, and Lauren don't get together often. It's a very special occasion. Again, it's my father's
Today
earth
is a
strong,
special day.
Yeah.
breath and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and you and Paul, you've been hounding me. When I'm going to see your brothers and sisters? No, when it's possible today. I just put energy out there and this is the result.
Yeah.
So you finally get to meet all three of us, Danny, Dan, and Lauren. This is my mother, Blossom Campbell. She's missing.
No, I just Danny and Dean.
Lorraine is
Well,
here.
as far as the visual is
Lorraine.
concerned,
The voice is here.
A symbol.
Oh yes. It's a special edition of the Prince Buster edition.
Yeah, at least, you know.
So
Yeah, man.
85th Earth Strong,
and
born May
let me
24th,
acknowledge something else
1938.
while we're at it.
yes.
We'll give some acknowledgement to
I
the
want to
other
request a
people.
particular song, Live, if you have that one. Another
Say that
standard.
again.
It's was
Okay.
I didn't get that. Say that again.
Gosh.
But Kareem wanting to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this might be pertinent to acknowledge the people from the Ska era, the few that I can remember that are still here today. I would like to acknowledge some of those people in this
Yeah.
program because they're
Good,
still
good.
doing the work, keeping Ska alive.
Good.
If the
Good.
monarch does not have a king on the throne, then we don't have a monarchy. It's like we had to do it. Queen Elizabeth passed, King Charles had to be crowned. I want to honor people and acknowledge people like Derek Morgan, Stranger Cole, Monty Morris, and Millicent Patsy Todd. Those are the ones that I can remember that are out there. There
Yeah.
are many others,
And of
but
course,
some of the people are more
Owen
Charlie
Gray,
Bitters,
Owen
Owen
Gray,
Gray, yes, all of
Charlie
those people.
Ordinaire,
Yeah.
Every one of them was
Carlos
out there, man.
Malcolm, Carl Bryan is in Canada as well,
Right.
and Roy Panton
Spontan,
and his
right?
wife.
Spontan, yeah.
Yes,
He
all
was
of them,
cool.
all of them, because they're still
And
keeping that energy going at a
yeah,
time when people want to try to displace it and not to know
Come
where
on.
it came from. And I appreciate, I want to acknowledge all those people are still doing it till today. And then people that average up into them mid to late 70s and above right now. So good spirit and energy to them. Thanks and gratitude.
Yeah, and
Second.
to
All of them.
all of the who's carrying
Original
through as
ska
a light.
entertainers. And Mr.
Yeah,
Jimmy Cliff too. Coming there from
yeah,
long
Jimmy
time and
Cliff,
still there
definitely,
today.
definitely,
All of those
brother,
people, all of those people.
brother
Mr. Carl
Naeem from the
Bashir.
March, brother Naeem Bashir, yes,
Bashir, yes.
definitely,
All of those people are still there
yeah,
doing it.
Ken Boot
yeah,
kind of still did it too. And when me Tony Gregory, him still alive?
Tony Gregory, yeah, he's been around, yeah,
Him
from the
still
old
alive?
school.
Yeah,
We're not going to forget the history at all. We can't.
yeah man.
Because let's still keep it going, you know?
I'm a old man letting him a crip for performing first show.
It
Wow.
happens, it happens.
Tony Gregory. Yeah man. Can't forget that as a little youth. You know?
Yes,
Wow.
experiences.
Well, you see, yeah, And I want to tell you too, yeah, my uncle, Lyle Campbell, Lyle Mason, really. See me all I
You
call
mean
it.
the producer, Lloyd Campbell?
No, man.
Mason.
Long
Okay,
before,
got
Lyle
you.
Mason, is
I was
Mason,
thinking our
really.
producer who passed away,
Yeah.
Lloyd Campbell.
Him play on whole heap of them shoulder ones, every one of them. And him said that get the upright bass.
Okay.
And him blew five, him in the army.
Oh,
He was a sergeant in the army.
so you must know Lester, because Lester was
Yeah,
in the military band
yeah
as well.
man,
Yeah.
kind of 50. Yeah, man. I'm a grandfather from in the 30s, I'm a musician.
God.
He's in the police force, so, and all of that. So, me have to feel good about them things, if you know. Me and Noel, Roland Alfonso's son.
Yeah,
They
no,
are, yeah, we are St. Lucia. And like me a talk and me just start cry. And him start cry too. I said, oh yeah, make me cry. Remember my grandfather. You see, so to me always I say, so in 1972 me produced my first thing I think. But when me I come from my mother. Place myself inside I am an old lady. And say, cause my old lady always when the band come see her, I sing. I never even ask her to sing a song for me. She has so and I sing and everybody always say, oh, Gypsy, you can't sing, You call her Gypsy. Her Gadi.
So that's the
And
African
never,
experience. My grandma did the same thing, cooking and singing. That's the African experience.
see,
Word, sound,
yeah,
comfort, energy, frequency, vibration. Yep.
you know. Yeah, because without music, no survive. Just like
Look at the
water.
heartbeat. Look
Just
at the
like
heartbeat.
water. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes.
The rhythm a beat, if
The
it a
Rhythmic.
music
beat,
is
Rhythmic.
a
if it
natural,
a
it goes
beat,
into the nervous system and
if it a
cures
beat,
everything from a cellular
stop.
subatomic level.
And
Because
the
it's energy,
water,
the healing now is energy, frequency, and vibration. That's
and the
what healing
water
is
that
now.
comes blood
Energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's music.
and flow, you know.
Touch deep down. You're definitely right,
Yeah, man.
Jala.
I tell you,
It's
man.
just that when I came to New York the first time and I came to your place over there, I didn't know who you were because you was introduced to me as Jalife. It's after I came
Yeah.
back to LA, I found out to my good friend, Mr. Paul Michael Campbell, that you were right.
Hmm. And again, show
So
you,
I
again,
was
show you.
blown away. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so we start link from back wall to wall
Yeah,
back. You see,
yeah.
see the wall. See, I is
Okay,
see,
Bakawal
because
University. Is that what
Jamaica,
it's called?
I say I want a back wall and going.
See the backdrop, man. Nice.
Aerial shot.
I call Gleaner, for a picture, I tell me some two something, for $2,000 US or $200, whatever. But it was some two something. I when me done with the youth, so me never know them thing they go back a while. And they still, I sell them one and sell me. Then what me do, me have a black and white picture, and me give a computer with, and make him do it up for me. With me, I call from me a youth. See,
True.
that was my playground. So, no. And
Gotcha.
you have a series that thing I come out with back a wall. And even some of the same man them you I think we probably have a true, we don't even know which part it depends on. So with the old man I sing about Zaki them and the whole of them.
Yeah, man.
Called Ghost Dance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, ghost
Called
that.
Ghost
Yeah,
Dance.
true man. But true, I don't have no name on it, I just numbers. I mean, I remember
Yeah,
where
ghost dance. Tang
ghost
tang
dance. Right man, a
tang
ghost
tang
dance.
tang 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 tang
They
tang
like him
tang
a pick
tang
them up. You know,
tang.
I swear, yeah.
Ah,
You know?
ghost dance. Yeah,
Yeah
man.
man. Yeah, ghost dance it name
Dear
for it,
Ketos,
man.
my
Yeah.
friend,
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
hope
man.
you're in the best of health.
Robert Peters used to clean his shoes right there by the ocean, by this place on Charles Street, right close from Tom the Great Sebastian. He used to shine and polish his shoes like 4 or 5 shoes a night.
You
Ketos, a
see.
big captain guy that got shot in a dance hall and he died.
You
And of
see.
course, Hyman is a good friend of
Keith
our eldest cousin. Winston Burglar was his good friend
Burger,
as
yeah
well.
man.
He grew up with Burglar.
I want to tell you, you said you know, I met the rest of the family and the
Charles Street there.
family and family where I can see. All right. Well, you see what with that now, a burglar call him on life, you know.
Interesting.
You know, see it. A virgin from garden beg me drop him up picking and go check him for him virgin and thing. When we go and we park up and I go in, him say, come in man, I'm go in. And when we reach one there, burglar that. Him say, Jalife, a man like you. At time I saw him Jalive, high five. But some people that say Jalive. So I don't know if that him use, you know. The man say, Jalife, a man like you. And say, come around man, I'm go behind the counter. And so I'm go behind the counter now. And the man will tell me, beg me carry him go there. Man have him tool and money and can and thing in a shop. And the man just take up the man thing and took him and say, take up money and can and say, come junior. And I say, boss, what kind of thing that man? You don't see it. And burglar the man, your life, a man like you. I'm say burglar, nobody with it, you know, because you know better than that, you know. And we leave and we carry him west still and then burglar know where we're done. We come and I say, boss, we get back this year and thing. And I say, your life, you shouldn't say what I say still, you know, but you don't know how I feel to see you and, you know, say, I so bad, you know, see it. And from that, your life. No point to do that.
Circumstantial.
Be around a little, you know, this is a pleasant night, so I'm not going to even say sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
A
yeah.
little,
New
Circumstantial.
York, the New York
Yes,
runnings.
please.
yeah, and next
Hear
week
it.
a brother just talk about, oh, your life I feel me, man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Him don't know burglar, number one. You know, see, burglar say, your life, no better than that, you know. Me and you, born and grow up, you say, you know, back a wall, you know. Them man there, l- come live a garden, we have a back a wall, lick down and build up. So much should I know better than that still. You know, see, you know, I just so, trying to figure it's a burglar pass.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
And
this
me
is-
and you talk and never know that he has seen so we are reason about them things then he say, what burglar? Your family? And I say, what? You know, see it. And me and him from we are liquor youth. Him supposed to hold on me still. Probably not much, but you know.
Interesting.
Enough man from garden where me and them grow. Them say, some call me Bulla Belly, some call me Junior. Them say, when we are youth, you're a big man for you, you know. I say, me? And the man them hold on me. Man them hold on me.
your life, man.
But it's true, me I work from me a little pitney. From me a little youth me I work. Before back of all it down 62. I mean I work before that. The second biggest jewelry in Jamaica. So, behind besides Swiss Watch and Jewelry, Cecil Simpson Jewelers. And my old man owned the rump and water lane behind Times Store back door. So when enough things that people see I and think, yeah, but that's still there and see your flesh and your sister and go on like yeah, I wanna look for me so and carry on like and them no know say we born down there so but we up here for long time. You know see it. The man call me a youth, me know what your old man do too. You know see it. Enough little things that was one of my admirer from a youth. Yeah. You know which man that get the props again? Derek Harriott.
Yes, he's been around a long time too.
Them no give Derek Harriott no props at all. I never hear Derek Harriott name mentioning and nothing yet. And I say, boy, them people are evil, you know.
Spoke to him when I was in New York, or 3 years, 4 years ago. Yeah, he was there for some kind of surgery or medical
Yeah,
He
evaluation.
usually stay in New York, actually,
yeah, man.
not in
Cause
Jamaica.
the man did up there with old man and this other and thing at it. Cause the man a sing and a produce and a do them thing there too.
Yeah, man. He
You
was.
see it. And
Remember that big group called the Jiving Juniors? That was him and Herman San
yeah,
back in
man.
the day. Yeah, man.
You know, the man a do all of that and no props. Me never hear none of them down there call him name yet. You know, see it.
Scotty, but all them guys. Scotty, Chosen
Yeah,
Fuse,
man. Chosen few
Rudy Mills.
them.
It's a long story, but all them guys
Keith
and
and
the
Tex
music
and the whole
chariot.
of them. Keith and
Yeah,
Tex
man.
and
Keith
the
and
whole of
Tex.
them.
Yeah, stop that
You
train.
know,
Yeah.
Winston Jones. All Winston
Winston, I
Jones.
spoke to him yesterday.
Yeah.
He's in Texas. Yeah.
I mean, I
A
70s Winston Jones came
good,
over
good
studio.
friend of good friend of my good friend to Junior Soul. I
Yeah,
mean,
Junior
everything.
told them
Everything
fast so.
is,
Yeah, me and
yeah,
him was
but
cut too, yeah.
we used to run together in LA and Florida. Yeah, man. I love the
I
thing.
man send three of my tune them where name they do for me. Carlton Coffee. Buggy Ian them and Ty. You see, I send three tune with Teddy Brown first. When them they do want someone to replace Jacob and thing.
Okay.
I send them to and the two man them get bigger after that. And thing I say I search with him name the what year, yeah. Cause nobody can find him. Yes, him get about 2 million. Years still, I don't know what it is. Him get 2 million
Who,
as him get it,
who's
him
that?
dead.
Who's
Carlton
that?
Coffee. Carlton Coffee, them say as him
That's
get it, him dead. And nobody no know
but
from January.
that's what was telling me yesterday. Him get some. I didn't know that. So it must be a
Yeah,
fact. Then I spoke to Winston Jones.
yeah.
So he finally got the
Um
settlement songs.
from January, yeah, from January him dead. And
Yes,
wife not tell nobody. I just
true.
recently no family, nobody. I just recently bust out. So
Wow.
I talk it all the while, but I'm sure tomorrow, little more really. Yeah, tomorrow still. We are going to
Wow.
reach with them because me I tell you, say them, you know, see, people them evil man appear royalty and publishing them a kill off people for man.
True.
Tell
True.
you, you know, see, I mean, nah,
Because
stop.
normally call me, we always conversate on the phone and everything because he was in the IFAD, the Yoruba type thing. And we used to talk spirituality back and forth. He always call me back and forth.
Yeah,
And I
man.
haven't spoken to him in about, 3 months or so. And every time he's on the phone, he's always getting off of the phone. And I didn't know to Winston Jones start giving me some insight about the wife and everything. And you got to question some of these women, man, because there are a lot of Jezebels out there.
I tell
I
you,
can't ascertain what
yeah,
they did,
man.
but I'm always, trust me, these things
Well, you see,
happen. I didn't know he got that kind of money. That's some serious money.
well, them have a saying, say, soon you know, you won't have any woman or any man, you know. You see it.
It's rough, man. Because even what's the name? Carly Barrett from the
Yeah,
Wailers.
yeah.
He just went like that
Yeah.
on
The
account
man,
of his wife
the man
because
did
some
a win
royalties
the
or
case.
something.
That
Yeah.
document so the man a win the case. The man win the case actually, you know. And I one walk in with a dolly and thing and thing and thing. And then him lawyer take secret and the next thing you know, you just see it cool off and then when it open up back, the man just lose some. Straight out. The man have all documents to prove said this and that and the next thing and still lose. So when Paula talk about the copyright and the this and that and you know them things there, you know. But me no know it. You know see it. Me no see why them me I use my strong spirit to fight. Or the physical part of it. No look like it a work.
But the spirit,
It's a
spirit is
key.
everything.
Yeah.
Spirit is everything. Without the spirit, the physical is dead. And everything starts in the spiritual and manifests in the physical.
Yeah.
So there are prerequisites and requisite things.
See,
So
I
yeah,
tell
that's
you
why
man.
prayer is so
The
important.
Jala, if
Fasting.
you work on the higher plane,
Yeah
Mhm.
man, I can't bother with the little
highest plane,
low
actually.
down thing. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. But all right. I show everyone all the time and I say, look, this is down on the top of my shoes there, so. And that's for me there forever. Right? Me the right there so. You know see it. And everybody else, me help from me a little youth till now. Them come from woman past down up here so. And when them start come down as them reach them ears, you them say ears, them ears. As them reach them ears so. It's like them start look around and get paro and want do everybody something. You see when they reach their neck, this is when them see them a go down, them don't want to reach them waist, them cut off that, then get a chainsaw and just cut off this one. Part of them goes on park or so. You don't see it.
Yeah,
So
because they were never grounded from morning. You have to be
yeah,
grounded
that's
because this
hard.
world is an illusion. The whole dunya is an illusion.
Yeah,
What you think
man.
is up, what you think is north is not north. What you think is south is not south.
You know?
We've been what we said, we've been domesticated like in what we call animal husbandry. Guys as education. We've been miseducated. And most
It's
people are
you.
going trajectory backwards because they follow a clockwise clock. And if you look in the universe, the planet spins around the sun
Yeah.
anti-clockwise. If you go to the Kaaba in Saudi, you see the Muslims walk around the Kaaba anti-clockwise. But yet still this man from your baby tell you about clockwise. We've been on a path of
Anti,
trajectory with that
anti.
deception,
It
totally
take,
out of line
it
with the
take
universe.
2,666.666 years
Yeah,
for it go round. You don't
yeah.
see it. But enough people don't know that. Them, you
They're
know.
not check,
So,
man. Everybody get caught up in the matrix.
you don't
Nobody's
see it.
thinking critical. Everybody's following. I like to back off and ask questions. I'm always
Yeah.
very interrogative. Want to know, question things because Allah has no secret. Question everything. And it's a study to show that step of proof.
Hmm. Come on, I tell you, man. The people them dangerous, bad, bad, bad. So me just hold my corner and say, well,
But
let
you
them
have survived New York. You've been there a long, long time because I used to hear about you from way back before I met you when I was living in Jamaica. When I visited your
man.
mother-in-law, that's right,
Whole
and your
heap of
sister.
things, man. Yeah, man.
Been a long
I'm
time. So
coming from
you're
1970.
a true survivor.
From
Mm.
1970 and go to whole heap of things. Some getting gunshot right down. You know what time them
Wow.
say I'm dead? You know what time I'm dead? Up to what day I'm dead?
Well, you're the hard man for dead. You pick him up, you lick him down and bounce right back. I
Alright.
am on a hard dead.
And
Mr. Paul
two
Michael
dead,
Campbell, where are you?
Yes,
have nine
Paul.
lives. Cat have
Yeah,
9 lives. We have
here
99.
enjoy the
Super cat.
discussion.
Yeah, Paul. Paul, what is your closing arguments?
Well,
Yeah.
I hope that this discussion, this special edition of the Prince Buster 85th anniversary celebration, will resonate with our
85th, 85, 85. Mm.
good, yeah, will resonate with our practitioners because certainly we need to collect from the global music pipeline what is out there for us because we have created this music started out from the early music mentor until eventually our national sound scale right through to rock steady
From,
reggae
from
dance.
the American music still.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
But
and
they had a bit of Jamaica rhythm and blues
Yeah,
as
we
well. Yeah.
can't leave them out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
even know Michael Jackson and him younger than me. You know,
yeah,
see, it, him was my star. As me have to talk it on the radio too about all that. Say, Michael Jackson was my star of music and me all on him. You see,
yeah,
till me I come,
most of us, yes.
till me I come see Dog Ton Star, Lassie and Rintintin and them dog there.
Tin, tin, tin.
You see, some little men I talk about them a star. Them can't even shine a night much as day. You see,
So
can't stop eat to them, you know.
yeah.
We
So
kind of work different.
I
You
would
know?
encourage our viewers and listeners that they can get more by going on the reggae online. Am I correct, Michael?
Yeah, man. Let me find it. Reggae
Good, yeah.
online.
Because you see this program on that website as well, and
Yeah.
there are a number of programs that you can link into as well, so that you'll be able to benefit from your creativity and start earn generational income, like the Prince Busters are doing. I know that they have a court case coming up. So that's why a number of the things that they can't really discuss just now. But based on the their father catalog. In terms of the copyright, the trademark, and all the other activities that they were involved in. Their estate is well, you know, can take care of the generation, not just this present generation, but their children and their grandchildren and great grandchildren. So they have to just wait until that court case is settled, then they can move forward. So others who are watching or listening, I would encourage them also to follow that template that Prince Buster sets, where he created the three fundamentals of how you heard from the music. One, the creativity through the content, how you heard from that. The second one with the sound system, the voice of the people, where he established that and able to earn out of that from public performance, whether live music or recorded music. And then the third one, fan relationship, where his content or his trademark was able to propel his creativity into the subconscious of people, and they become fans and purchase all the merchandise that they can get from it, as well as the endorsement deal that they can get as the father estate, as well as the endorsement deal. So we are here in Jamaica. We have a template that cover the three main areas where you earn money from intellectual property. I can just quickly go back over them again. Intellectual property, which is content. Public performance, which is live performance or recorded music. And the final one from the fan relationship. So I just want to say thanks to Prince Buster biological children being here, and I'm really supporting the father estate that they have established, and I look forward for them in the future capitalizing on it full time, because it's many years now since the father have established it, and it's time for them to have the tangible benefits from it just now.
So, Jalife, can you? Is there a song you can play for us to close out on a Prince Buster song?
Well, you see, what series that thing we've been lined up for playing? We never know, say.
Yeah, man, because we get to 2 hours. That's what we're down.
It's 2
Yeah, man.
hours, man. What?
Yeah.
Then them
You don't realize, yeah.
them limit you. I never know them limit you, but
No.
my thing no limit you know.
No, it's not them limit me. It's that we have a schedule. That's all.
Programming schedule, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes schedule have to pull out,
I know Jalife will come up with something.
Yeah, man. All right.
Post done.
You found it.
You see, so much singing, my line them up a card, but.
Dear Keithus, my friend, good day. Hoping you're keeping the best of health. How is the music down there in Boneyard? I hear that Buzz gave a sound system. And that Naya Keith is the disc jockey. But them can't get no red stripe beer for selling a dance at night. Tell Zaki, the high priest, who used to lead the toughest, one who could go, toughest. Give him my regard.
Yo.
Tell him, Prince Buster says, hello.
Enough one wouldn't take any chance and do them through them.
Toughest. And Keith, if you said she Rashi, Rashi from Bakawal.
Long time in a year Russian card,
And if you should see the two brothers, Stinky Pummels and Kurban, we grew together. Tell them, Prince Buster says, so long, sorry we had to go, so soon. Since music with the food of love, I'll forever sing on. And first as all, we'll soon get back on ship.